Let's engage in some real-world batch exercises, batch processing. With the Global Superstore 5000 dataset, we have 5,000 rows, let me see, 5,000 rows of data from the Global Superstore dataset. That original dataset is more like 50,000 rows, but I thought we'd just process these 5,000. Now, a very common task with data like this might be to create a separate tab for each, let's say, a region, and then create, let's say, a summary tab that summarizes the profits. Let's see, we have profit here for each region, and let's split it out again. Let's see, let's base it on, how many of these are there? 1, 2, 3. So let's say we give it the profit for each category across each region. Each region will have its own tab, and then we'll have a summary tab that has each region and each category and the profit for each category in each region. And let's just be fancy and let's throw in a chart that graphs all that. Why not? So let's do that. To do that manually would be tremendously time consuming. Especially, let's say you had to do this every week, every month, something like that. This would take a lot of time. So let's automate it. The first thing to do is open up your developer tab. And let's see, Global Superstore, click on that once, and let's insert a module. I'm going to close this so we can have some more room. If option explicit isn't written there, go ahead and write it. And I'm going to do this a little bit differently than we've done in the past. I'm going to make multiple subs, multiple macros, and call them all from a master macro. So let's do this. Sub, let's call this super batch or something like that. And in this super batch, I'm going to call 3 separate macros for the 3 separate things I'd like to do. The first thing is I want to make some tabs, right? Let's see, let's call that make my tabs. And I'm just going to say this is a sub. We also want to make a summary tab. Make summary tab sub. And inside that summary tab, we would like to insert a chart. So let's do make my chart. So these are the 3 subs we want to make. Let's go ahead and make them right here. Sub, I'll give it some space, sub make my tabs, and sub make summary tab, and sub make my chart. Cool. We just need to fill all these out. So the first one, probably going to be the hardest one, maybe, because we're going to make and populate the tabs. So how to do that? We want to create a tab for each region. Anytime I say for each, it just makes me want to use the for each structure. So let's do that. Let's say for each, let's call it region in range. Now we could do this real fancy like and make it super dynamic and go find the range, but let's just assume it's always going to be in range column. Looks like it's N right here, region. So let's assume it's always going to be in range N2 to comma range N2 dot end down. In that range, do stuff, and then next. Well, for each range in there, or for each region in there, excuse me, and since we have region, we need to dim it, dim region as, what is it? It's a range, because it's really a cell we're talking about. I could have said for each cell in this range, but these are region variables, or values, so I'll use that word. So for each region in that range, in that column, let's do something. Well, we want to check to see if there's a tab already named that region. So let's do that. We could just create a tab for every cell here, but there are 5,000 cells, so that wouldn't be very efficient. Let's do this. For each my tab in work sheets. So that's a defined area, set of objects consisting of sheets. Next, what do we want to do? Well, we want to check to see if there's a tab already named the region name. So if my tab.name equals region, I probably should .value, then do stuff. And if, what stuff do I want to do? Well, I want to flag that we found a match. So I should probably create a variable for that. Let's see, dim found match as Boolean. That's a true or false variable. And I better set that somewhere. Let's see, I should set that, nope, outside of that. There we go, right here. Found match equals false. So what this does is, false. Every time I check a new region, it's going to set found match to false. And then it's going to check each of the tabs. Right now there's just one tab, the orders tab. And for each of those tabs, if that tab, its name, is equal to the region's value, the cell I'm currently on, then, well, found match equals true. Found match equals true. Cool. And let me come down here. No, outside of this loop. If found match equals true, then I want to do stuff. If found match equals actually false, I want to do stuff. So if I didn't find a match, then and if I want to add a sheet. So sheets.add.name equals region.value. Boom. Cool. Let's just to see if that works real quick. So F8, variable not found. I better define my tab. Okay, let me stop this real quick. Dim my tab as, what could I dim that as? Can I dim it as a worksheet? I can. Cool. All right, so I'm going to dim my tab as a worksheet. And let's try this again. Save this just to be safe. F8. So it says, well, I didn't find in there a tab that matched, so let's create one. Whoa, cool, it worked. Look, south. Now let's make sure this keeps working. So F8 is going to do the next region. Didn't find that one. Nope. Didn't find that one. And so it's going to add North Asia. Oh, this is cool. Look at that. Hey, it's working. That's awesome. Okay, let's stop this. Now, let me go back and get rid of all these. If you click on one and then hold shift and click on another one, it'll select all of them in between. And then you can right click any of them and select delete. It'll yell at you. You say, yeah, I want to delete them. Okay, cool, that works. Excellent. Now, what do I want to do if I create a new tab? I guess I would like to copy over all the header information, so all of row 1 into that tab. I might as well do it while I'm there. So let's do this. Let me say add headers and say worksheets orders, just to make sure I'm back on the right one. Orders, make sure that's spelled right and capsed right. Dot range A1. Oh, here's a new one. Check this out. Dot entire. Can I do this? Row. Dot copy. Can I do that? Woohoo! In fact, I could just test to see if this works. Let me see. Copy this, paste it here, and then, oh, check it out. It worked. See these, the ant trail means it did copy. Very cool. Let me go back over here and escape. So there we go. Okay, so that worked. When I copy that, then I want to go to worksheets, and I want to go to region.value. Does that make sense? I want to go to the worksheet named whatever the value of the region is that I'm currently on. So I'll go to whichever tab, so the South tab or the Africa tab or whichever. And then dot range A1 dot entire row dot, is that spelled right? Yep, dot paste special. I don't know why it's not prompting me. Maybe I spelled something wrong somewhere. We'll find out. That all looks correct. Hopefully it'll work. So if we do find a match, I'm just going to go under this one and say, you know, a lot of the same thing actually. This right here, let me copy this over. I'm going to change it a little bit. So worksheet orders, copy, not range A1. What we really want to copy is, I wonder if I can do this, region.address. Oh, yes, dot entire row. So whatever cell I'm on, get its entire row and copy it. That's cool. And then what I want to do is not paste in A1, but do A1 dot end XL down dot offset 1 row 0 columns, and that entire row I want to paste. Let's see, sorry, that's hidden there. There we go. So instead of pasting just an A1, I'm going to go to A1, which is where currently our headers are, because this won't actually trigger until we have headers in there, because it would have done creating the tab first and pasted those headers in. And then it'll go to range A1 if it doesn't find, or if it does find a match, doesn't find a match, excuse me. If it does find a match, meaning the tab already exists, then we just go to A1, go as far down as we can, you know, the next empty row, and then paste the data in there. But that actually won't work unless we have data in row 2. But we will, we will have data in row 2, because if we're creating a new tab and putting in the headers, we also need to put in the data from the current row we're on. Ooh, here we go. So can I just copy this? Let's see, copy this and paste this down here. So after we've pasted the headers, see, add row, and we don't have to end down on this one actually, so I can get rid of all that. We could just go straight to A2 because it's always going to be A2 if we've just pasted the headers, meaning there's nothing in there. We just created that tab. That means row 2 is always going to be empty, so we can always paste this in row 2. Ha! We've done a lot of coding without checking. We better check this to make sure it all works. All right, cross your fingers, save. Everything's reset, yep, and F8. So it made the south tab, and it added the header information, and it added the row. Next, north, did the same thing, good. This is so cool. Can't believe it's actually working. Create a new one, see if we get a duplicate here. I want to get one where we've already been. No, created a new one for that one too. All right, let's get one where we've already been. There we go. Here's one we've already been. So we're going to copy this row, paste it in there. You saw that. It went to row 3. Hopefully you saw that. It's pretty brief. Cool. Can I just hit run? Let's do that. Oh, it's a lot of data. You know what? Let's not do it yet. Whenever you're processing this much data, it's good to add a sort of a status update. Where are we in the batch process? So let's do that. What you can do is you can actually change the status bar. See down here where it says select destination and press enter to choose paste? That's called the status bar. We can change that if we want. So let's get right inside the outer loop here and say application.status bar equals whatever we want. Let's say equals processing row space and region.row. Can I do that? I think I can. So that will say processing row, and then it'll tell me which row I'm currently on. So we're doing a 5,000 of these, and so it'll say processing row 1, processing row 2, etc. until we get down to 5,001, I guess. And if you want to set that back to its default, what you do is application status bar equals, let me put that right after the outer loop, paste that in there and say false. That just gives control of the status bar back to Excel. All right, I'm going to save this. I'm going to go reset this, delete, yes. Cross my fingers, let me save one more time, and cross my fingers, and it might run for a bit. So let's watch down here. Watch this status bar area. And I'm going to move this out of the way. Play. Look at that, it's working. Whoa. And there it is. Woohoo! It ran. Let's see if it ran correctly. Right now we're on Central Asia and Canada. And look at that. So 307 rows here. Let's go to the top, make sure everything's in there. Yep, the header's in there. This all looks correct. We can double check by looking at region. It is all the same region, which is the same as the tab name. Ha! I can't believe that worked. Excellent. That is great. Cool. So then, EMEA. So then let's do the next thing. Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that to work first try. Next, let's see, we've done the Make My Tabs. Let's do Make Summary Tab. This might be tricky. Let's see. So, in a Summary tab, let's just make one here real quick. I'll put it way over there. Wow. I guess it puts it right before whatever we're on. So I guess the very first thing we should do is say, let's see, sheets orders dot activate. There we go. Then it'll add it right there. We already know how to add a sheet, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Sheets dot add dot name equals summary. Oh, in quotes. Cool. Something like that. All right, and what do we want it to look like? I think we want, let's see, we wanted categories here. Is that right? Category. Now that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's do regions here. Region, and then each of the categories here. So we could just hard code it, but I don't want to do that. Let's be fancy. So let me show you some fancy stuff. Over here in orders, what we could do is we could copy the entire, where's category? Here's the entire P column, and then paste it over. Let's see, let me copy, paste it over here in A, and then there's something we can do called remove duplicates. Here we go, remove duplicates, and yeah, my data has headers. I shouldn't have copied everything. Oh well. And then, wow, it only retains the unique values. So it turns out we only had 3 unique values. What we can then do, we don't want this here in the rows, we want it in columns. What we can do is we can copy that, Control-C, paste, and then there's a paste transpose. Look at this, transpose. And it puts it like that. And then we can just clear out this area and do the exact same thing with remove duplicates, but for regions. I think that'll work. So let's do that programmatically. Now we could just record a macro of us doing it, and that's a fine way to do it. The only problem with that is oftentimes the macros will record magic numbers, magic amounts, magic regions, these very specific regions that may change if you have more or less data. And so I like to do things more dynamic programmatically if possible. So let's do that. Let's delete this sheet. Yep. Okay, here we are. We're going to end here, or start here, I guess, and go back to here. All right, we want to copy, what is it? It is start with category. So that's P. Range P 2 comma range P2 dot end down dot copy sheets, and we just created a summary one, so summary, we know its name, dot activate cells dot paste special. You know, I better say range A1. Range A1 dot paste special, and then what we need to do is remove duplicates from that area. Since we've just pasted that column. It should already be selected. Can I do active region dot, nope, active cell dot, there we go, it's starting to prompt me, current region dot, there we go, remove duplicates. And what does it want? It wants columns and headers. Columns, just one column, columns, colon equals 1, and header as XL yes or no. Colon equals XL no, because we're only copying from P2 onward, not copying P1. So hopefully that works. We'll see. So we've now removed all the duplicates. Now we want to copy that, paste it up into the other area, up into B1, and transpose it. So let's do that. Range A1 to range A1 dot end down dot copy, and then range B2 or B1, excuse me, B1 dot paste special, and then transpose colon equals true. That should work. And then we better get rid of everything that was in column 1. So can I just do columns 1? Hey, dot clear. I wonder if that'll work. I don't know if that'll work. You know what? We better we've coded a lot without seeing if any of it actually works. So let's test this. Let me save and F8. I'm gonna go there. Let's create a new tab called summary. Cool. Range P2. Uh-oh. It's going to try to copy P2 in the active sheet. So before I do that, I actually want to go back to Sheets Orders, activate. There we go. There we go. Sheets Orders, activate. Pull this back up here. F8. There we go. Now P2, copy. And then go back to this sheet, paste it there. Let's see if this works. Ooh, it worked. And then copy that and paste it over there and clear that. I can't believe that worked. Cool. Next. So we've gotten the header, the regions over, not regions, the categories. So you place categories. And now let's place the regions, which should actually be easier. Place regions. We can actually copy a ton of this. In fact, I'm going to copy all of that, Control C and Control V, and we're going to go back to orders. We're going to, actually I don't need that right there. Okay, so activate orders, grab not P2, let's go see where the regions are. I think, oh, we know where they are. We did it up here. It's range N, okay. So we'll change this to N2. And this one, N2. I'm going to copy all of N, and then go back to the summary, paste it in A1. Actually, I'd rather paste it in A2, so we have some space there. In fact, as long as we're at it, let's give this a column header. So range A1 dot value equals regions. So what I've done here is I've just made sure that in cell A1 here it says regions. And then I'm going to paste all those regions in A2. And then I'm going to remove all the duplicates. And that should actually do it. Wow. Okay. To try that, let's go ahead and kill the summary tab. Delete. Yes, delete. And here we are. Run this one. F8. Wow, it worked. Cool. Okay. One thing I'd also like to do is widen all these columns so everything fits. What I could do is columns dot auto fit. There it is. Cool. I wonder if that's what do I have to say equals true, or let's see, columns dot auto fit. Nope, that works. Nice. Just like that. Okay, the next thing to do is to populate those cells. That we could do really hard way or really easy way. I think we'll do the easy way. Populate cells. So this is where we actually go and get the profit from either from each sheet or from the order sheet itself. I would like to do this the easy way. So the hard way would be to go to the order sheet or each of these other sheets, cycle through all the sheets, and then, so let's do an example here. Let's go up to the top of Central Asia. We'd cycle through each of the sheets down here, starting with Central Asia. We'd go to the profit column V2, and we'd say for each profit in here, go check the category, and then go add this value to the summary tab where that category matches and the region matches. And so it would be a loop inside a loop and conditional inside a conditional, fairly complex, or we can do it the easy way. And I'm all for the easy way, so let's do that. We could do a SUMIFs. And I'm not sure how to do that in code. I mean, I guess we could do a worksheet function. Let's just do it like this. I'm going to record a macro. Record. Let's just call it macro 4, sure. And so we're recording. We're going to say equals SUMIFs. What this allows you to do is say, go sum up some range based on some criteria range where the criteria is whatever. So we'd say, go sum up the profit range where the region is equal to what we see in the A column, and we'll have another criteria range, which is the categories column, where the category equals whatever's in the category up here. So, for example, SUMIFs, sum range, let's go over to orders and say I want you to sum up profit F4, so it doesn't change, comma. The next thing is a criteria range. Well, I want you to do it where the region F4, comma, the criteria is back over here in the summary tab, where the region equals A2. But I'm going to try to fill this, so let me press F4. F4, notice up here it's changing. I want the A to stay constant, the 2 to change. So there we go, comma. And then another criteria. So this criteria, and you can do as many criteria ranges as you want. I'm just going to do 2. The next criteria is back in the orders. I want the category, F4, so it doesn't change, comma. And the criteria's got to be back here in summary. It's got to equal this. But again, I want to fill this, so I'm going to hit F4, F4, and that means the B will change, the 1 will not. I think that's what I want. Close that. Oh, that looks really good. And then I'll fill this way, and then I'll fill this way. And I might as well make it look pretty while I'm at it. Home, make these into $signs. There we go. And you know what? As long as we're at it, we should just make the chart here. So let's do that. Let's do insert chart. I'd like that kind of chart. And there we go. Let's call that good for now. Cool. Let's stop it. Let's go see that macro and see what we can learn from it. So I hit Control R to open this back up, or you can go to View, Project Explorer. So it's going to be hidden in Module 2 here. Open that up. Here's what we recorded, and it's amazingly short code. Wow. So let's just make sure it's what we really want. Active cell formula. Well, we know what cell it's going to be. It's going to be range B2 every time is where we're going to start. So I'm going to just say range B2.value. Range B2.value equals. This underscore means continue on the next line. I'm going to get rid of it and pull this back up. Okay, so it's going to put this as text in that cell B2, which is fine because it's going to be read as a formula. Very cool. And then it's going to go select B2, and from that selection autofill to this range I wonder if I can define a grander range. Let's try to be dynamic here. So instead of range B2, we're going to say range B2, comma, range, B2 dot end, down. There we go. So now we're a little more dynamic. And it's going to fill. Then it's going to select this range again. Let me copy this instead of this. And it's going to select that range. And then from the selection, we're going to autofill all the way to the right. Oh, this is going to be tricky. So from B2, not too tricky. We can do this. Let me just replace this. It's going to fill from B2 to end down and then dot end right. Dot end Excel to right. That should work. And then it's going to select that whole area. So let me grab this range and select it. Okay. And then change it to currency. And then it's going to select B6. Why? Oh, just because I clicked there. We don't need to select B6. Get rid of that. All right. Active sheet shapes add chart 2. And it's going to create a column clustered chart. And then get the data from this area. Well, I would like to be more dynamic than that. And so we'll say range A1 dot active, not active, dot current region. Cool. So that's going to get everything in that sheet. That would be awesome if that worked. Let's see if that works. Let me delete all that. And we'll just test this over here for now, and then we'll go put it in our other module. So let's delete this. Let's delete all of this. And let's try it. So F8 hasn't yelled at us yet, but it's not running. There isn't enough memory. Oh, whoops. We went too far. Okay. Oh, we did end down. Uh-oh. Phew, debug. Yikes. We did end down. That is not what we wanted to do. Let's fix this. Okay. Let's go clean this up. Yikes. That's the whole sheet. There we go. Yikes. Okay. So we don't want to do that. We would like to do, see, range B2 to end down is all the way down. Really, it's range B2 to right, range A2 dot end down dot offset 0 rows, comma 1 column. So it's going to go from this one to here, control down and over 1. So that's better. Now I'll have to fix that over here. In fact, let me just copy that right there, control C. And it was here. I'm going to copy and paste that here and here. There we go. I think that might work. Let's go fix this again. Okay. Save. And now F8. There we go. Uh-oh, it's going to explode again. It's thinking. Escape. Debug. Oh, end to right. Oh, I went all the way over. Same mistake. What a rookie. Alright. Control-Shift end. Delete. Wow, what a mess. It just crashed. So I'm back up and running. Hopefully that didn't happen to you. What we need to do is constrain the area we are sending it to. So we want to do it just for the 3 columns for the 3 categories. Now we could do that fairly dynamically. I'm just going to do it non-dynamically for now. The way you do it dynamically is you'd offset by a specific number, designate the dynamic number, designated by the number of categories. But we know there are 3, so I'm just going to move over 3 columns. Okay, so let's try it. F8. So far so good. Oh, it didn't blow up. And did it create a chart? Let's see. Back here. Hey, there's a chart. Look at that. Just stick it up here. Now let's just do one more small bit. Let's name that chart. Let's see. We could do active chart dot chart title. There it is. Title dot text equals, let's call it profit by region by category. Cool. And that should do it. Let's go copy all of this. Control C over into our module 1 in make my chart. Actually, make summary tab is where part of it would go. Let's go put that here. Populate cells, just this portion right here. Shift tab, there we go. And then I'm going to take all of the stuff for the chart and Control X, get rid of that, and stick it in the chart area. Okay. There we go. So that should work. Shall we try it? Let's save. Close that. One more look down here if you need it. Go ahead and pause if you need. You can see what I included here versus here. And I'm going to go ahead and delete everything except the Orders tab. Delete, delete. Okay, there it is. Let's save. And I'm going to run from the top. So here's my super batch. I'm going to run this. F5. Looks like it's working. And there you have it. Let's see if it worked. There it is, even the title's in there. Cool. So with that macro, it took what, a couple minutes maybe to create all these tabs with all their appropriate data and create a summary tab with all this profit summary information and a chart all through code. Pretty cool.